I've loved Pokemon for as long as I can remember. I watched everything you can imagine. Nuzlocke, streams, VGC, anime, gameplays, you name it. So I finally decided to get out of my own head and create some content myself, as I've always wanted to do this. So, hi, I'm Water Shiny, I'm obsessed with Pokemon, and this is my attempt to beat a hardcore Nuzlocke with only water types in Pokemon Sword. So here are the rules that I'm gonna use for this Nuzlocke. If a Pokemon faints, it dies. All Pokemon must be named. Set mode must be on all the time, and no items can be used in battle. I can only capture the first water Pokemon in each route as long as it's a random encounter, and no leveling past the gym leader or the Elite Force Ace. Now, because I am an average Nuzlocke player and also a fairy type lover, there are two more rules. I have two starters, a Sobble and my pride and joy Meryl, but a shiny Meryl. And also chat can pay 100 bits to revive a dead Pokemon. Also, that reminds me that I stream on Twitch, so you should follow me and you should go there to watch me do these runs live. Oh, and also, please subscribe to the channel so I can continue doing content. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Subscribe. And now we start our story. We start out by getting our lazy asses off of the couch, and then we go outside to get some light and touch some grass, and we end up finding our friend Hop, who's very annoying and overly excited. And then we have to go pick up his brother, who's the champion, at the station, who made the executive decision to give Leon this beard and this cheap wig that's not a hair, it's a cheap wig that you buy in Party City for $5, £5. So we choose our starter, which obviously is going to be Sobble, the water type, and we name her Megan, not Megan, Megan. Then we have to battle Hop. We kind of have to do it. We go through very quickly. We do what we gotta do. We then go get the Pokédex, which is very important for this run because the Pokédex gives us access to the Pokemon gods. So the Pokemon gods can bless us with our shiny, beautiful Meryl. And we get Meryl and we name her Luna. Now, luckily, Luna has the ability Huge Power, which doubles its attack when in battle. And also their nature is adamant. So this should make the run much easier, remembering that I am a average player. Since we are a water type trainer, we have to look the part. So we get our asses to the clothing store to get some clothes and to look very cute, and now we're ready.
Yas Queen, Skinny Legend, Versace boots the house down. Slay Queen, Hunty Mama, and Oop Daddy work. Charlie XDS, snatch my way.
Honestly, work. Now that we look like a proper water trainer, we continue our story onto the route 2 to get our first encounter, which is a Choodle, and we name him Flopchan. We get to the professor's house, have another mandatory battle with Hop, destroy everyone with Luna, get the Dynamax band, the endorsement, and we're on our way to the wild area. And for this run, since there's a lot of water Pokemon everywhere, I decided to use each area of the wild area as a different encounter, only being able to capture water Pokemon that are available through random encounters. So at this point in the game, we're able to have 3 encounters. We caught a Wingull in Westlake Axwell and named it Wingflop. We caught a Temple at Watchtower Ruins and named it Hoppity. And then we caught a Corphish in South Lake Millock and named it Grabhammer, giving us a complete 6 Pokemon team. And we're ready to go and work like the divas that we are, honey.
Oh, that's right, divas. Snatch those wigs, cause it's getting hunty up in here. Fierce, work, hunty.
Okay, I'm gonna stop, I'm sorry. Next up, Monostoke. We get there, we decide to get a little bit of a makeover. Blue hair, blue eyes, blue eyebrows, ready. We are now a true water type Pokemon trainer.
Yes, Queen!
We go on our way. We find Leon, who gives us a Mystic Water, which increases the damage of water type attacks, which honestly go off. Then we go do the opening ceremony. What happened to this man's nose?
That's suspicious.
Then we go fishing in the canal and get a Magikarp and named it Wild Child. After this, We are on our way to the gym, but before we have a few battles. The first one is a battle with Hop, which honestly is pretty easy. Megan basically water poses our way through this battle. Then, on the way to the Galar Mine, Megan evolves into Drizzile and Luna evolves into a Zoomeril.
Yes! Yes, Gaga, you look so good!
The next battle is against Speedy. So we go through the Galar Mine, get to Beatty, who's honestly one of the most insufferable characters in this game, and has a weird redemption arc, but we'll get there. The battle against Speedy is fairly easy. We one-shot his solo sits with a knockoff, we take a Psybeam from his Gothita, and then one-shot with a payback, and then in comes his Hatini, which gives us a little bit of a scare by leaving Crabhammer with 4 HP, but then we're able to one-shot it with a payback. And we win this battle. In the next route, we're able to have a new encounter, so we get Goldeen, and we call it Goldina. So now, it's finally time for the gem. First of all, we crush that minigame, okay? Straight to the gym battle to get to the noseless, not toothless. Now, to be honest, I was a little bit nervous about this battle because, you know, grass types against water types, but it was fairly easy because Luna has bounce. So he sends in his Gossiflare, which we one-shot with a bounce. Then he sends in his Eldegoss. Dynamax from his side, Dynamax from our side, and 2 max airstrings are enough to take it down, guaranteeing us the first badge of this Nuzlocke. Now it's time for a new encounter. We get a Dupes on Route 5, and we name her Charlotte. And right before we get to the next city, we have another battle with Hop, which honestly, it's just really quick. Luna one-shots everyone with Aqua Tail, and once again, we humiliate Hop in public. We then get to Hellbury, where we have to meet President Rose wearing what I can only describe as a mistake, but that's okay. Then we go straight to our next encounter, which is a Chinchou that we named Licht, which means light in German. For those who didn't know, I didn't. And then on to the gym. We go through the gym's annoying puzzle, we get through it, and we're ready for the gym battle. So the battle starts. Nessa sends in the Goldeen, and with Luna, we're able to take it out with a Brutal Swing and a Bulldoze, having to take some damage on the way. Now against her Arukuda, 2 Bulldozes do the job, but we also take some damage on the way. So this is where things get a little bit scary. Nessa sends in her Dreadnought. We both Dynamax, and then it outspeeds Luna, hitting her with a Max Strike. Then we hit back with a Max Airstream that doesn't do any good damage at all. And then the next turn, we take another Max Strike that leaves us at a range for critical. And if there's anything that I learned watching Nuzlocke, 10 out of 10 times, you're bound to get a crit. So the best thing to do is to switch it out. We do leave Dreadnought with low HP with a Max Quake, but we decide that it was time to sacrifice Crabhammer because we were okay with Crabhammer being sacrificed. We send Crabhammer in, and he actually tanked a Max Strike, which ends Dreadnought's Dynamax. So we decided to avoid losing a Pokemon and send in Hoppity. Hoppity takes a Headbutt, and then we decide to keep Hoppity in, survive another Headbutt, and hit Dreadnought with a Mud Bomb, which lowers its speed. Now, we kind of gambled, because we were ready to lose Hoppity here. But we end up outspeeding Dreadnought and winning the battle, which I wasn't expecting, but listen, that just means that we're the best water-type Pokemon trainer in this region, and nobody can tell me nothing, and we're the best, and we will conquer this Nuzlocke, and I don't care, and Nessa can retire. Anyway, we get the badge, and we continue with our story. Just a quick side note, our Chudo evolves into a Dreadnought, which gave me a little bit of PTSD and emotional damage due to the battle that we just had, but that's okay, we love Flopchan. Before we can leave the city, we have to have a dinner with this weird president guy. Is it only me that find it kind of creepy and weird that his assistant is just standing there? Miss Girl's just like standing, looking while we eat? I don't know. Just me? Okay. And after this weird ass dinner, we can leave and we continue our journey. On Galar Mine number 2, we are able to capture a Barbolge and we name it Barbara. Then we have another battle with Beatty. Oh my god, yay, I love Beatty. Such a fun character. Oh my god, so excited. I didn't have much trouble with this battle because Flopchan basically bit everyone to death. So yeah, we won. Before we leave, Hoppity evolves into Palpitoad. Then after a bit of grinding, most of our team is at the cap level, and I have with me kind of a B team. So I'm like, okay, let's just continue. And then we have a battle with Marnie, and I was a little bit dumb by just going with the team that I had because I forgot that her Morpeko is really strong. So let me show how that went. The beginning of the battle looked easy. Winged Flop was able to take out Krogunk with no problem. But then, in comes Morpeko. And Morpeko has two strong moves against my team. Thundershock, because the majority of my team will die to an electric type attack. And also has Bite, which becomes a stab move because Morpeko is also a dark type. So my ground Pokemon would also take a lot of damage from Bite. And to say that I was unprepared for this battle is an understatement. So I believe everyone here knows what's gonna happen.
I lost all hope today. I'm empty.
So at this point, I was heartbroken. The run was over. I got wiped out. I had no more Pokemon to battle. And according to the rules of a Nuzlocke, if you get wiped out, it's game over. You have to restart. And I kept thinking to myself, am I that bad? I know I made a joke in the beginning about being an average player, but does that mean that I spoke that into existence? Does that mean that my first ever hardcore Nuzlocke is already over after so many years of playing Pokemon? After countless hours of watching Nuzlocke runs, I was so excited about this. But I failed. I failed my mission. But then, in an unexpected turn of events, something happened. An anonymous person gave us 100 biddies. Not only 100 biddies. No. They gave us 300 biddies. So that means that the run is saved. Because we were able to bring back 3 of the 6 Pokemon that we lost. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't that cheating? No, it's not. That is a technicality because we just lost them, but we just brought them back. So, we actually never lost them. So that means that the run is saved and we are ready to continue with our story. And that also means that my chat is the best chat, and I don't care what anybody else thinks, they are the best. So we ended up bringing back to life Barbara the Barboach, Charlotte the Dewpider, and Godina the Godine. So now it was time to come back and destroy that woman's career, destroy her dignity, and win our dignity back. So I grabbed my 4 Pokemon that are level 27, and this is how the battle went. Hoppity one-shots her trashy trash of a Krogunk with a Bulldoze. She then sent Scraggy in. That didn't take a lot of damage from a Bulldoze, so we decided to send in Megan. And after a little bit of a back and forth, we take Scraggy out with 2 other pulses. Then in comes the destroyer of hopes and apparently Nuzlocke runs, Morpeko. We then switch back into Hoppity to predict a Thundershock, which we resist. and then 2 bulldozers were enough to take this emotional unstable mouse out, and we won the battle. Marty is defeated, and all I have to say is,
jealousy is a disease, to which I say, get well soon.
we now have a complete team of 6 Pokemon again, and it's time to go to the 3rd gym, which honestly was the hardest battle ever. We get there, we do that annoying catching minigame, and then we go to the actual battle against Kabu. Why is it kinda hot? Oh yeah, I have that issues. Anyway, the battle starts. Kabu sends his Ninetales, we send Flopchan, who's able to 2-shot the Ninetales while avoiding some Will-O-Wisps. Then in comes Arcanine, and after an Intimidate and a successful Will-O-Wisp and a very weak Razor Shell, we decide to switch into Megan, who takes 1 bite, gets flinched by a 2nd bite, and then avoids a Will-O-Wisp, and then is able to 1-shot with Water Pulse. Well, then I was feeling very confident. So I kept Megan against Centiskorch for the Dynamax battle. So we Max Geyser, dealing a lot of damage, and then we get hit by a Max Flutterby that did a lot of damage. Oh my god, not the starter! We live, and we finish the battle with another Max Geyser, giving us the 3rd gym badge. Now with the 3 gym badges, we get to access the new part of the wild area, which means more encounters. So we get a Shellos on Motostoke Riverbank and named it Shellussy. Listen, in my defense, my chat got to name this one, okay? Anyway, we got a Binacle at Bridgefield and named it By Pride. And then at Giant Mirrors, we caught a Marani, I don't know how to pronounce this name, and named it Martini. And at Giant's Cap, we caught a Krabby and named it Eugene. And while we were doing our encounters, an amazing, incredible person donated 100 bits to revive another Pokemon, and then we brought back Licht. We get to Hammerlock, but then we decide to go back to do a little bit of grinding, and then Licht evolved into a Lantern. Then we go do the whole story stuff, and while we were doing it, someone donated 100 bits, which means we can revive another Pokemon. And this person chose Wingflop, with the condition that we would change their name to Bully. Now we go on our way to Stow-N-Side. On the way there, we had this one battle that we could not avoid with this Metronome trainer, who apparently is famous for killing Pokemon. And guess what? We lost Flopchan.
Guess what, bitch? I'm in danger.
Then we bring Bully along the road in hopes to avoid a strong scent that will lower our water attacks, because Bully can set the ring. And as we arrive in the city, Shellussy evolved into Gastrodon. Before we are able to head to the gym, we have to have another battle with Hop the Flop. So this is all we do. Against his Cramorant, we sing Licht. After a lot of back and forth, a lot of annoying back and forth, we finally got Cramorant out with some Electro Balls. Against Silicobra, we decided to send in Bully to change the weather and avoid any ground moves. We are able then to one-shot it with Water Pulse. Against Toxel, we send in Gastrodon to avoid any electric type attacks. An Ancient Power and 2 Body Slams are enough to take it out. We then bring back Bully against his Raboot, who takes him out with 2 Water Pulses, and we win the battle against Hop. After this battle, we decide to level up just a little bit, and while leveling up, we accidentally ran into an electric type using Bully, and because we could not escape, Bully was one-shotted and died.
Hi, Diva. I'm just not feeling this one.
But chat came again to the rescue and revived it, and we have Bully back, so nothing happened. Time for the gym. After spinning our way through this puzzle, it's time to battle B. We just one-shot everyone with Luna using Play Rough and Max Starfall.
Drag her, slay her, sipping on that true tea, hunty. Gag.
And this gives us the 4th gym badge.
I'm super excited. It was really tough. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was definitely a different ballgame, but I had a blast, so thank you.
After the gym, we have to take Luna out of the team because she's overleveled, and we decide to bring Crabhammer in. After a bit of grinding, Crabhammer evolved into Crondont, and Megan evolved into Inteleon, and then we had to battle Beatty to to try to stop him destroying government property. So for this battle, we start with Crabhammer against his first Pokemon that I'm not gonna even try to pronounce the name, and we one-shot it with a Night Slash. Then we decide to change into Megan against Hatchrim, taking some considerable damage from a Dazzling, and then Megan almost kills it with a Snipe Shot, and we take a Psybeam that could have very much taken us out if it was a crit. So we decide to U-turn into Shalossi while BD recovers his Pokemon. The good thing is that we were able to leave Hatrine with low HP. So Shalossi is able to take her with a Muddy Water. Now, against Gothita, Shalossi took her out with a Muddy Water and a Body Slam, and then Ponyta comes out. And after almost taking Shalossi out, we recover twice to get to full health, and then 3 Body Slams are enough to finish Ponyta and win this battle against this flop of a person. After the battle, BD gets removed from the Gym Challenge for having daddy issues and doing too much to impress an older man.
All tree, all shade.
And on we go with our journey. Before heading to the next gym, we decide to do a little bit of grinding so we can level some more Pokemon, so we can have them in higher levels in case we lose someone. And while we were grinding, Charlotte evolved into a Araquanid, Eugene evolved into Kingler, Hoppity evolved into Seismitoad, and Martini evolved into Toxapex. Having everyone properly leveled for the next gym, we go for it. We get to Valenly, and honestly there's not much to do in the city, so we just go straight to the gym and start the challenge. After going through this weird auditioning process and answering weirdly personal questions about people, we get to our battle with Opal. Opal starts with her Weezing, we sent Megan, and we are able to two-shot it with Snipe Shot, but we get poisoned on the way. Now, because I'm basically traumatized of losing Pokemon, I decide to change into Hoppity against her Mawile, and he's able to take it down with 2 shots. Now, because we got a defense bust due to answering the question correctly, we decide to keep it. And because Togekiss is a fairy type and we have Acid as a move, we were like, we're gonna get it, girl, but then we didn't, because after 2 acids that were very, very, very weak, we take a lot of damage from a few air slashes. So we decide to change into Shalossi, who thanks 2 air slashes deal a lot of damage with Ancient Power, but then we also decide to continue being safe, and then we send in Martini, tanking again 2 air slashes and taking it out finally with a Venoshock. Now it's Alchemy. I keep Martini and we both Dynamax. And after honestly just a back and forth of hitting each other, we leave each other with low HP, and then Martini poisons Alchemy with a Baneful Bunker, and being the safety queens that we are, we decide to change it out, bring in Bully, just to make sure that we don't die, and to wait out a turn for Alchemy to die due to the poison damage, which doesn't happen because Alchemy then uses Draining Kiss, heals a little bit of HP, but then a Water Pulse takes it down, and that's the 5th badge. What an annoying battle. But hey, we did it, and that's it. Work, sis, mama, house down boots.
Feeling all that sickening tea boots the house down realness for your nervous mama boots.
Now after the battle, and Opal realizing that we are absolutely not the gym leader she was looking for, she gives us a ride to Hammerlock, and once we get there, we find Biddy at the doorstep of the President Guy's company, crying, feeling sorry for himself after trying to get the endorsement back. And we got some exclusive footage of how that conversation went.
I need to go to the end of this competition. I need to. Party.
What the fuck?
RuPaul's Drag Race had fucked up drag.
You're a fake ass bitch.
Okay.
Opal then looks at him like a real housewife looks at a cocktail and decides to make him her new pupil. Then something explodes. We ignore all of that, of course, and continue to Route 7, where we find Hop for, you guessed it, another battle. And this battle was okay-ish easy. Luna one-shots his Trevenant with Bounce. We almost one-shot his Boltund with Bulldoze, but then he roars, bringing in Lift. Now Hop heals his Boltund, and then 2 brines are enough to take it down. Snorlax comes in. We try first with Licht, confusing and paralyzing it. We take some decent damage, and then we try it out with Luna, who deals some good damage, but we end up sending Martini because Snorlax was already too tanky and we didn't want to risk it. So after 2 Venoshocks and 2 liquidations, we finally take the Snorlax out. Now against Heatmore, we keep Martini, poison him with Baneful Bunker, and then end up killing him with a crit liquidation. Then Cinderace comes out, we do some good damage with liquidation, but decide to avoid a possible crit, and send in Luna to finish the battle with an Aqua Tail. After crushing Hop one more time, we get to Code Circhester, I think that's how you pronounce it. And then we go straight to the gym to do that very annoying puzzle. Listen, I understand. I find most of the puzzles annoying. I get it. It's a theme, and it's not gonna stop here. Anyway, battle with Gordy. I guess this battle was just how I like my takeouts and my man at 3 a.m. on a Saturday. Quick and easy.
Is that too far? Oh my god.
And we get the 6th badge. Then we go for some curry. I could honestly go for some curry right now. Anyway, and then, of course, is another battle with Hop, which... Oh, it's so annoying. I'm tired of battling this man. And we're also gonna skip this battle because it was just an annoying 10 minutes of stalling and hail damage that I'm never gonna get back in my life. Before we leave, we take Luna out of the team as she is at the cap level again and she's going to be fundamental for the next gym. So we bring Crabhammer instead and we get on our way to the next gym. On the way there, through Route 9, we try to capture a Mantike, but honestly, it was just too annoying to try to capture it and I just give up. Then we get in front of Spikemuth, and we come to discover that
The door is closed!
But who's that I see in the corner? It's no other than Marnie, who's saying that she can let us in the city, but we have to battle her again. I am tired of getting personally targeted by this woman, but I guess we have to do what we gotta do. So we get Bully back in the team, and we start the battle. Against her Leopard, Hoppity takes it out with 2 Drain Punches, and then against the Scrafty, Hoppity takes it out with 3 Drain Punches, but he gets hit by a Swagger in the middle of all of that. Then we leave Hoppity against the Toxicroak to try to hit it with a Bodos, but instead we get hit by a Sucker Punch and also get some confusion damage. So we switch into Shalusi, avoiding a Sucker Punch, but taking another one while we deal some damage with Earth Power. Now, Toxicroak uses Swagger, confuses Shalusi, but we are able to pass through the confusion and take it out with another Earth Power. Next up is Morpeko. Who gets one-shotted with an Earth Power, giving us the win. So I guess Marnie should shut the door with the spiritual realm and leave me alone. With Luna back on the team, we are ready, and then we go for the gym challenge, which is another Luna sweep.
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now come on now.
So we swiftly and quickly get to Tears, who I like to call Bad Wig Haver number 2. So the battle starts. Against Crafty, Luna one-shots it with Play Rough. Then in comes Malamar, who avoids one Play Rough, hits Luna with 2 Psycho Cuts, and then gets hit by a Play Rough that leaves Malamar in red HP. And then another Psycho Cut, and we take it out with a Bodo. We take a bit of a risk by leaving Luna, but we take a weak crit Shadow Claw from Obstagoon, and we do not deal enough damage with a Play Rough. So we switch it out to Hoppity, who avoids a counter. Then Hoppity gets a defense debuff because of Obstruct, hits with a strong Drain Punch, and almost dies to a counter. We then switch into Shalusi, who gets hit by 2 Throat Shots that are not super strong, and then we take Obstagoon out with a Nerd Power. Now it's time for the final Pokemon, Skunktank. And he hits Shalusi with a Sucker Punch and almost died to a Nerd Power. Then we decide to recover Shalusi to be safe and thinking that Piers is going to use an item, but I guess we all learned here together that he doesn't use an item here. So he uses Toxic, which gives us a free heal. Oh, hi, editor's note here. I found out that Piers actually tells you that he's gonna use Toxic instead of healing items. I just never noticed in all my runs. We then avoid a Screech and finish the battle with an Earth Power. And with that, Emo is cancelled. And of course, the 7th badge, of course, that's also important. So that means that we have one more gym to go. But first, we have to get some encounters. First of all, because we can get them. Second of all, because Luna is overleveled also for the next gem, so we won't be able to use her against the Dragon type gem. So this is who we caught. On East Lake Axwell, we caught Wishy-Washy and named it Toasty. At Giant Seat, we get a Shelder and call it Sheldina. At Axel's Eye, we caught an Octillery and call it Octobussy. I guess I don't even have to tell everyone here that chat was feeling hee-hee-ha-ha when they decided this name. Anyway, our final encounter is a Quillfish that we call Fudgeface because it was really hard to capture it and I was really pissed. After calming myself down and having all these new encounters, we were ready to prepare for the gym. To be honest, we prepared for like 15 to 20 minutes discussing with chat all the strategies we were going to use, who was strong, who was weak, which stats should we focus on. So basically what we drilled down to was to bring all special attackers because the defensive stats of Raihan's Pokemon are higher than the special defense stats. And it was all about Shalusi to counter Duraludon and Octobussy to counter Flygon. Now that I'm saying this, I think the Ussies are powerful.
I was like, oh, honey, that sounds like my Friday night, honey. Oh, honey.
Anyway, we then decide our team and we grind for a little bit so we get closer to the cap level and then it's time for the gym. So even though this is supposed to be a dragon type gym, in reality it's a weather gym. And because of that, the gym challenge consists of double battles against different weather teams. And this is the one challenge that I actually enjoy doing because there's a bit of battle strategy there and I really like it. So the first one is against Rain. And the thing is that Rain helps my team. So everything was going fine until I had Octobussy and Licht on the field. And I was going to check what Discharge does, meaning does Discharge impact everyone on the field? But I guess I was a little bit too quick and ended up selecting Discharge. So I guess I found out the hard way that it does hit everyone on the field.
Well, shit.
There goes my strategy. Anyway, the rest of the gym challenge goes well, and then we are ready to battle Raihan. So we reorganized the strategy a little bit and decide to start off with Megan and Shalusi against Flygon and Gigalith. The first turn, Megan leaves Flygon with around 30% health, but it dodges Shalusi's Muddy Water. And it does around 35% of Gigalith's HP, who sets Stealth Rock. Another type shot takes Flygon out, and Earth Power takes Gigalith out. So far, going great. Then in comes Duraludon and Sandaconda. Shalusi is our Duraludon counter, so he Dynamaxes, and Megan uses a U-turn to switch out with some damage on Sandaconda, bringing Bully to change the weather to rain. Duraludon hits Shalusi with a max Knuckle that is weak, and Sandaconda paralyzes Bully with Claire, which is great for us. So then Shalusi one-shots Duraludon with a special attack Max Quake, which means that our plan worked. Yay us! Oh my god. So next turn Shalusi one-shots Sandaconda with a Max Geyser, and that wins us the battle and the 8th and final gym badge. So we get our team for the road and go to the station to take the train to Route 10. Oh wow, I wonder what kind of fun and interesting adventures awaits us in Route 10. I hope no one dies. One of the unavoidable trainers in this route has a Phalanx. And that Phalanx in the battle against Shalusi used No Retreat. That is a very strong buffing move, and then used Close Combat that left Shalusi with 1 HP, which would have been fine if it wasn't for the fucking Halen. So yeah.
What the fuck is going on in here on this day?
And we have to continue on. But chat was moved by this death and decided to again donate 100 bits to revive a Pokemon. And the Pokemon chosen this time was Octopussy. But wait, there's more.
You're joking. Not another one?
Basically what happened was I made a mistake. I brought in Bully in a battle that I shouldn't, and he got electrocuted and died. I'm okay. I'm okay. As in any Nuzlocke, we have to adapt, so we suck it up and continue. The majestic Wyndham. The first thing we do once we get there is to evolve Shieldine into a Cloyster. We get the team ready, and it's on to the semifinals. So the first battle is against Marnie. So Marnie starts the battle with her Leopard, which is one-shotted by Luna. Next is Toxicroak, and we send in Megan, who knows Air Slash, to deal with this very annoying frog. On the switch-in, we get hit by a Toxic. Then we hit with an Air Slash that almost kills it. Then we got hit by a Swagger, and we decide to stay in and try to kill it with a U-turn to get a clean switch, which doesn't happen because Marnie heals with a potion. So we switch into Hoppity with the U-turn anyway. After taking one Sucker Punch, Hoppity finishes the Toxicroak with 2 Bulldozes. Then, you guessed it, in comes Morpeko. We start dealing some damage with a Drain Punch. Then Morpeko uses Bullet Seed, which almost kills Hoppity, but we got really lucky because he only hit twice, and we finished him with a Bulldoze. As Crafty comes in, we decide to keep Hoppity to use a Drain Punch to heal a little bit of HP, as I will always outspeed him, but we also got a Swagger right after that. We got lucky and were able to connect the Bulldoze, and we get hit by a Scary Face, lowering our speed. So then I decide to bring Luna, so she's already set for the Dynamax and I don't have to switch anybody in. So Scrafty hits Luna with a Scary Face and a Swagger, and we got lucky again and we were able to hit it with a Play Rough that took it out. So even though Luna is confused, she is my best option against Grimmsnarl. So I decide to keep her in and risk it. We Dynamax, and the first turn wasn't very successful, but we were able to one-shot it in the second turn with a Max Starfall, ending the battle and officially ending this woman's career. On with battle number 2, and this battle is against Hop, who I'm pretty sure will need a lot of therapy after this whole thing. So Hop starts the battle with his Dub Wall, and we start with Megan, who's able to two-shot it with Snipe Shot. Pincurching is next, so I switched to Hoppity predicting an electric move, which didn't happen. So to make a long story short,
I put a whole bag of jelly beans up my...
Nope, not that. It took us a bunch of Bulldozers to take this Pokemon out, but we took it out. Against the Snorlax, we capped Hoppity, and a back and forth of Drain Punches and Hammer Arms get the Snorlax down. Then Licht two-shot his Corviknight with Discharge, and 2 Max Geysers are enough to take his Cinderace out, winning us the last semi-final battles and kicking Hop out of the competition. So now we go back to the hotel and we were supposed to get ready for the finals. That will happen the next day, but then we discovered that some shady stuff is happening. And of course, the children are gonna go there and check/interfere with the evil plans to destroy the world. Then we get to her, who represents what happens when you are a burnt-out employee who shows too much loyalty to a company, Oleana. She starts with Frostless, and I send in Hoppity, who takes her out with 2 paybacks. Against her, Serena.
What's up, y'all? It's Nicki Minaj.
We're switching to Martini, expecting a Dropkick, what happens and deal okay-ish damage. Then we do some good damage with a Poison Jab, take some damage from an Acrobatics, use Baneful Bunker to poison, and from then on, it's just a little bit of a Toxic Stalling, and we take it out with a Poison Jab. Next Pokemon is Salazzle. We're switching to Megan to one-shot it with Snipe Shot. Then in comes Milotic. And to make another very long story short, we had to sack Octopussy, and then after some discharges and recovering, we were able to defeat it. Then for the final Dynamax round, we actually bring in Hoppity to tank 1 hit of the Dynamax, and then 3 Max Quakes are able to take Garbodor out. We then win the battle, then dramatic cutscene, and we are ready for the finals the next day. So because some people don't know the concept of boundaries, our first battle is against Speedy. So first off, we one-shot Mawile with Hoppity. Then we try to do some damage on Gardevoir with Bulldoze, which doesn't do a lot of damage, so we switch in Martini. He tanks a +1 Psychic and takes Gardevoir down with a Poison Jab. Megan then 2 shots Rapidash with Snipe Shot. And because we didn't have anything super effective with enough HP to deal with G-Max Hatrini, we decided to bring in Sheldina to waste 2 Dynamax turns, dealing a little bit of damage. And then we bring in Crabhammer for the 3rd Dynamax turn. Hatrini's last Dynamax turn ends up taking Crabhammer down. Then we send in Hoppity, Dynamax, and 3 Max Quakes take Hatrini down. This means that we win the battle and Biddy can go back to being a gym leader. On with the next battle. As preparation, we cut our losses and bring over Fudgeface and Barbara as possible sacrifices, and we move on to the battle against Nessa, who should be retired by this point, but I guess she wants another battle. She starts with her Golisopod, who gets 1 shot by Licht with a crit discharge. Then against her Barraskewda, we take a lot of damage, then 1 shot also with a discharge. Against Seeking, we are able to 2-shot it, but it leaves us with critically low HP. But because Pelipper is next, we decide to keep Licht because Licht is faster than a Pelipper, and then 1-shot it with a discharge as well. Now against her G-Max Dreadnought, we send in Hoppity, who tanks the first Max move, then with Dynamax and a Max Knuckle and a Max Quake are enough to take it down, winning us the battle, which just reaffirms that Nessa should then retire because I am a better Water-type trainer than her. Next in line is B. She starts with her Hawlucha, we send in Licht, who almost get killed by a crit high jump kick, but then we are able to 1-shot Hawlucha with a discharge. Against Surfetch'd, Raplocked, and Phalanx, Martini is able to kill all 3 with just a bunch of Poison Stalling, Liquidation, and Poison Jabs, and then after all of this, Martini was kinda almost dead. So we decide to stall the Dynamax again, and then we send in Hoppity, who tanks 2 of the moves. Then we send in Fudgeface, ready to sacrifice it, but Fudgeface is able to tank the move, ending then the Dynamax. We then decide to sacrifice Quillfish.
Oh, she passed away? Oh. All right.
To get a free switch into Megan, who finishes the battle with a Max Airstream. With Machamp being down, her last Pokemon, we win another battle. So after, Barbara evolves into Whiscash, and to prepare for the next battle, we decide to bring in Godina as possible sacrifice. So the next battle is against Raihan, who starts by sending in his Torkoal that sets Sun, and to make sure we get an advantage here, Megan uses Rain Dance, predicting a possible Solar Beam, which happens, and then we are able to 1-shot Torkoal with Snipe Shot.
See, I'm telling you, I have the mind of a I have the mind of a mastermind. What's that? I don't know, but you know, I'm so creative like that.
Then Gudra comes in, and we switch Megan into Hoppity, avoiding the Thunder. And then after some back and forth and a heal, Gudra sets another Rain Dance, doing us a solid, and a few more Drain Punches take it down. Now against Flygon, a Drain Punch and 2 Muddy Waters are enough to take it out after taking some Earthquakes. Now against the Heatmore, we bring in Martini for a Toxic Stalling strategy that works pretty well, and also recovers a lot of HP because Martini is holding Black Sludge. So now it's time for the Dynamax portion of the battle. And you guessed it, we do stall. Basically, Martini takes 2 hits, and then we send in Godina to be sacrificed for the 3rd hit. Then Megan comes in, Dynamax, and finishes the battle with a Max Geyser and a Max Wormwind, giving us the win against this region's tentative of an Influencer. Increasing the level cap, now we're able to bring Luna back, and we are on, and we are ready to battle Leon. So we go to the stadium, ready to battle him, and wait, what is that? Who is that person on the screen? Is that the villain of the story saying he did villain things and that his plan is in course? Oh, well, it is. Unheard of. So I guess it's time for the miners to save the world once again. Anyway, we go and we try to stop President Rose, who looks at us and says, "It's too late. The thing is happening." And we're like, "Okay, but let's battle." And he's like, "I'm gonna challenge you first." And then he challenges us and the battle starts. Rose starts with his Cavalier, I send in Megan. Megan sets the ring whilst Cavalier sets a Swords Dance. Then Megan uses Knife Shot and hopes to 1-shot his Cavalier, which didn't happen, and then what? Scavalier one-shots Megan with a Mega Horn.
Wait a damn minute. Wait a damn.
We then send in Hoppity that comes in and destroy him with a bulldoze, and then in comes Ferrothorn. I don't know what I was thinking. I send in Licht that got one-shotted by a Power Whip.
What are you? An idiot sandwich.
So we tried with Martini, didn't work very well because it got a lot of damage, and then we decide to sack Barbara to get a free switch into Luna and do an early Dynamax. So we use a Max Knuckle that leaves Ferrothorn at 20%, and I was preparing mentally to get a Grass move, but luck was on our side and that didn't happen. So we take Ferrothorn down with a second Max Knuckle. After this, it was a little bit of a clean sweep, so he basically one-shot Skinkling, and then Dynamax ends, and we one-shot his Berserker with a Bulldoze and Gigantamax Copperajah with Superpower. With President Rose defeated and less Pokemon on our team, we bring in Charlotte, Eugene, and Toasty, who are team, I don't know, G at this point. Now, the only thing between us and the sweet, sweet taste of victory is one battle with Leon. But the problem is the level difference is really big, so we need to grind for some levels. I hope nothing goes wrong. So part 1 of this intense grinding was great. We decided to get our last possible usable Pokemon in this game, which is a Dracovish. One of my amazing viewers helped me get the fossil that was missing, and now added to the team is Liz. So now it's grinding part 2. You know why people like Pokemon challenges say that we should use rare candies in Nuzlocke instead of grinding? There's a lot of reasons, but the following will show why I think also it's bullshit to not use rare candies. I'm not very proud to admit that I had a bit of a breakdown that looked like this. Then chat basically put me on my place and also gave me 100 bits, which means that I was able to then again revive Luna. And Luna's back. So after some hard lessons learned, I decided to change my grinding strategy, which meant a bunch of max raids to get a lot of XP candies. And finally, we have the final team for the final battle. Now it all comes to this. After all this effort, all these bits, all the lows, the highs, everything comes to this. So the battle starts. We send Liz to take on Aegislash. Uses King Shield, protects against Crunch. Then a second Crunch does 20% of damage because of Shield Form. Then we survive a Shadow Ball, and this oversized sword is out with a final Crunch. Haxorus comes in, we keep Liz to bait on Outrage and as a sacrifice, so Haxorus is stuck in this move. And then we send in Luna, who can come in for the guaranteed kill with max Starfall on an early Dynamax while avoiding an Outrage. Dragapult was next, and the AI was on our side because Dragapult uses Flamethrower, so we one-shot it with another max Starfall. Next is Rillaboom. I was mentally prepared for a Grass move, but I guess the AI said not today, and used the knockoff, giving us the space to take around 80% of HP with a max Starfall. This ends our Dynamax, and then because Rillaboom will always kill Luna, we switch into Martini, who thinks an Endeavor, but is taken out after by a high horsepower. We then send in Toasty, who becomes really big because of his ability. We tank an Endeavor, and we are able to hit with a U-turn, taking Rillaboom out and switching in free. We send in Luna against Hyperior, which gets one-shotted by an Aqua Tail. Then it's time for his famous G-Max Charizard. If we wanted to have any chance to win this battle, we have to stall his Dynamax turns. So we sack Eugene for his first Dynamax turn, sending Charlotte, who takes the second Dynamax turn beautifully and is able to do a lot of damage. Then for the third Dynamax turn, Leon heals his Charizard, and Charlotte is able to deal 50% of Charizard's HP. Then we keep Charlotte in hopes that she could kill, but it didn't happen because Charizard kills Charlotte with an Air Slash. Next is Toasty, who avoids an Air Slash, sets the rain to give us some advantage, then gets hit by a Fire Blast. Then we use Endeavor to bring Charizard's HP further down. Toasty gets defeated by an Ancient Power, then we send Luna, and after tanking a Fire Blast, we take Charizard out with a Play Rough, winning us the battle, the championship, and more importantly, the run. So we won, everyone. We got this in one run. And I wanted to share a few considerations I have after doing the run and rewatching the footage to be able to edit this video. I guess first of all, Azumarill is an incredible Pokemon. I really love it, and I love the shade of its shiny. One thing that I really love about Nuzlocke is that you get to use Pokemon that maybe in a normal run you wouldn't normally use. So it really forces you to strategize and think on how to use these different Pokemon. And then a Pokemon that you would call weak becomes key for your team. Not like I used a lot of strategy, because I understand I made a lot of dumb mistakes. And I want to give credit where credit is due. Chat carried this run by reviving some really good Pokemon. So honestly, they are the most amazing people ever. And holy fuck, how hard it is to narrate a whole video in English. Listen, English is not my first language. I thought I was a pretty good English speaker, but I guess I'm not. The amount of times I had to re-record audios and narrations is just... I am on audio, according to my editing software, 550. That's a lot. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. This is my first long-form video ever. I hope you had fun. I hope you like my type of humor, and thank you for staying until the end. And of course, please subscribe to the channel so I can continue doing content. Please subscribe. Please subscribe.